Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new part on the painting tutorial of Mortarion. I know that I'm making a lot of parts, but I want to go in detail and divide it by focusing on each part of on each important part of the miniature each time. So this time we are going to do this arm plus the side, but I already paint the arm or the armor because it's the same that we did on the legs. So this is just base color of Death Forest and Death World Forest, sorry, and then I applied here the Balthasar Gold. Okay, so these are the two colors that I have applied up to now, and now I'm going to do well, keep working, but because this is new, the horns, I want to explain on camera. So on the horns, on these things, I'm going to do something that is will be different. If I was thinking first to use what's called this racker flesh, but racker flesh will be too close to the clothes and other things. So I will go for a Screaming Skull. This is going to give a more bone type of color, and then of course for the I will paint this on this type of protuberances here. Okay, so I will apply two thin layers of Screaming Skull to have a nice creamy color, and I will be back once this is done. So next, as we did for all the other tubes, I'm going to use now Bookmark's Glow to paint these tubes here, okay, including the thick tube. So I like to give this type of organic look to this type of tubes. I avoid to paint these are like slime type of things, so we're going to do this later on when we do the effects, the weathering. And now I'm just applying Bookmark Glow on all these tubes, including this and this one here. Okay, next step, I'm going to use Maybelline Brown to do the handle of the side. Okay, I'm going to use, we need to use a very small brush for that. We only have to be careful. I'm going to use this because it looks like a wood type of thing, and I want to go for a wood color that looks old and not healthy. Okay, maybe it's going to be too close to the cloth and to the armor at the end, but yeah, I'm trying to do all Mortarion with this type of healthy tones to give this sensation of sickness, illness, and so on. So we are going to apply this now on all the handle, and I come back once it is done. Next, I'm going to use Iron Breaker on the parts of the tube that are exposed, that are mainly on this one here. This is why I leave them black, although Iron Breaker will cover very well on top of the Bookmark's Glow. I prefer to leave the spots in black because are much easier to find later on. Okay. We'll clean up with iron glow, where I went with the iron breaker, and I'm back. Now the next step, I'm going to do a wash with Agwax air shade. Okay, with the remaining I have on the pot because I had an accident today with that. Yeah, I will apply this. I will not apply it on the horns, on this type of things. I will apply self-inception on that, but I will apply it on the corrugate, on the tubes. I mean, on all the armor, everywhere except the horns. Okay, so I will do that, and as we did for the rest of the miniature. So it's mainly the Agwax air shade is this color that is giving the uniformity of color across the different parts of the miniature. So I will do that, and yeah, and we wait until this dry. So I have this is how it looks like after the wash, but I have to say that I already did all the weathering and highlights on the armor and all these parts, as I did for the other parts, for the legs of the armor. So if you want to know more details how this is done, go to the second video where I explain, or the third video, sorry, I explain how to do it on the legs, because I just follow the same technique and I find, and I want to focus here on the side. So the next step I will do, I will use again Balthasar Gold, and we are going to paint most of the side with the Balthasar Gold. I'm going to take quite a big brush for that. Okay, and we are going to paint everything except the blade and some other details. But it's going to be a big portion, the main portion of the side. Okay, I'm thinking this thing here, the second handle, should go brown, so I will leave this as wood, but the skull we are going to check in, because it looks like metal as well. We'll leave the wood look, and I will paint the skull with the same Balthasar Gold. Okay, so I will apply this on all the main parts except the two blades, this one here and the front blade. So I do that, and I'm back once I have done that. So as you can see, Balthasar Gold is applied. It's a nice color. We are going to weather all these, so I prefer, I know that the original one from Games Workshop is more everything on iron color. I prefer this copper look like. And now I am applying here this handle, Bane Blade Brown, the same brown I applied on the rest of the. Okay, so I apply here again Bane Blade Brown. And when I was painting with Balthasar Gold, I decided to go a little bit on top of the other parts, so the way that I leave any grey area visible. Okay, it's really, if Mortarion is really a great miniature to paint, I'm enjoying it as much, or even more maybe, than Magnus. Because I like, yeah, with Magnus you want to go for a very clean look. Here I go more for a weathering, and this is. Okay, here we have, and now I will take Iron Breaker. I'm going to paint all the metallic parts. Realize that I forgot a little bit of spot there with. It's always happening, annoying, but it's happening most of the time that you forgot a spot here or there, and you need to go back to the previous color This is why I like to apply first all the base colors. So I apply now Iron Breaker, okay, on all, on the, let's call this, on the blades. Okay, we'll do here, there, and also on the saw teeth there. Okay, so I do that. I think in that way it looks the weapon more interesting, I think, with two colors. So I do that and I come back. So Iron Breaker applied. Next I'm going to use Bookmark Glow as I did for all my tubes. I will do it as well here. Okay, and we are going to work the highlights to make it pop up. Bookmark Glow, you realize it's very close to the copper. This is not a problem. I want to keep consistency over contrast in the point. As we already have two colors on this side, and I'm going to add two more colors because this is going to go with the same yellow. So it's going to be quite colorful this side, and I will try to desaturate them to make them match together. So next I'm going to paint this, and to make it look really what's called this confusing to the people, really demonic, I'm going to use Screaming Skull. So I'm going to paint this like real bones, and I'm thinking if I'm going to do blood on these bones to make it look really nasty, but I will say how it looks like, so it's a decision for the final moment. But I really want this to paint them like real bones, like if this is just the backbones of some strange thing put here. Okay, this is the demon Princess Norgal, so he's the main authority now in the real space for Norgal. So he will have some, he will be quite nasty, and yeah. Okay, so I will do that. Do that with Screaming Skull. Okay, and once it's dry, we are going to go for the next one before doing that, and then I will do the smoke. So I do that, and then I will be back. So I have applied Zamesi Desert as I applied for all the smoke, and now I'm going to wash all the whole weapon with Agvax Airshade. Okay, we can use this brush, and in that case I will start from here to the bottom because it's easier for me to handle. So I start applying here, that is the most difficult part. I mean, not the most difficult part, it's in terms of handling, it makes me easier starting in that way to handle to be able to handle correctly this. We'll do the other part. I need the new pot of Agvax Airshade to arrive because I'm running out of Agvax Airshade. And you cannot paint without Agvax Airshade. I had an accident yesterday when I dropped some of it. Yeah. Of course, if you drop one pot, should be the washes to mess up all your table. So here we are. Okay, we'll apply this as well on the smoke everywhere. I hope I have enough to reach all the parts that I want. I will do that. Yeah, and then I will be back to start doing the highlights and weathering. So this is how the site looks like after the washes, okay? And now I'm going to start doing the highlights, and I will start with this type of horns that we have here. So I will reapply Screaming School, and I'm going to highlight just the most exposed parts of this type of horns or spikes. So for example, we'll start from here. I will okay. Something. So we just try to really touch parts that are more exposed. Then on this one I'm going to do the same. We have to be careful with the different cuts and damages we have there. I have a light that is blinking, sorry for that. I think I need to, this bulb is it's failing. Okay. So we do something like that. And we have a cat. We are going to make the cat pop up a little bit more just by at least highlighting one of the sides. Okay. So this is the then we do something like that. Right? We are going to highlight as well again the bones here. Want to leave them in bone color. So I'm going to as well highlight. I will do the other side of so I'm doing just this side of the side and the side of this side of the horns. You can imagine I will do the side, and then on this part that is like the backbones, I try to as well to touch something like that. Okay. That was very small. Just okay, so this is what we want to do, and this one as well. No, I will use too much paint on the brush. I will do this like that. Okay, and making this lighter will make it to pop up a little bit more, make it different from the other cream colors or lighter colors that we can have on the miniature. Okay, so I'm doing this cut here, and we have another cut in the other direction. Sorry for the blinking light, it's also annoying me. So I will do the rest of the horns and also the other side of this backbones, and I come back. Next, I'm going to paint this type of mucosity or liquid that is around the arm. Is the same that it was in the wings, and I'm going to use wing camo as a base color. So we are going to pick all these things. As you can see, I try to start from the top of the arm now to the bottom. Then we will finalize with the smoke. So we are going to put this on this type of slime or things that we have here. Okay. For example, this one here. Some nastiness that not will have. Okay. So we do these details. I'm back. So next I'm going to use Rogaldorn, so Dawn Yellow, sorry, as highlights on these slimes that we have painted. Okay, I'm going to apply this. This will make it to pop up a little bit more even. And of course, once this is glued on the miniature, I will put some glossy varnish. Some varnish. This will be covered more likely at the end of the painting job of Mortarion. Okay. This is just to give a little bit of accent, more visibility to this type of thing that we put here. Okay, now. And now I'm going to start painting the handle of the side, and I'm going to use again Benblade Brown to start doing the highlights. I will not highlight it too much. I think I will stay on the Benblade Brown as the maximum highlight. What we are going to do is we are going to add. So let's start with that, and then if we want to go even lighter, we can use Blacker Flesh as the last highlight. But so far I will just use Benblade Brown and highlights the parts that will help me to pop up the details of this handle of this side. As you can see, I go red next to the crevices, so I also go to the most exposed parts of this type of spikes or spiky parts that it has. So we are going to, so we don't need to forget this side, for example, here. So we'll go there, here. do like that the rest of the handle, and once this is done we will decide. Most likely we'll do a second highlight with a lacquer flash just on the most exposed parts, but first I want to see how it looks like just with the Bakelite brown highlight. So I keep doing that and I show you how it looks like after applying on the full one. So I observe that inside of this here there are like things that look like eggs or something like that. What I will do is I will apply very softly a Screaming Skull, okay, that is green color. Take it's not a dry brush, but I will try to go very soft. We will just try to touch very superficially. Okay, something like that. And as I did on the rock, I will apply now a wash of regular flesh shade to give this pinkish color, or pinkish, more fleshy tone, to make it look like, I don't know, more like, to give like a more nasty look. Not too much, just a little bit, okay? I don't want it neither to that is popping up a lot, so it's just to pick up the detail, and that's all. So next, as I was explaining, I think I need to look for a little bit more of contrast on this wood work, and I will use a little bit of lacquer flash. Okay, and this is going to be applied strategically in the point where you want the highlights to be even higher. So, okay. So we start with the spikes, but for example here, I like to add a little bit, especially in the inside, and something like that. So I want to increase a little bit the contrast between the recesses on these parts, okay? You don't need to highlight everything, just highlight strategically to make it pop up a little bit. Okay. So I keep working on that. But first I want to show you, you see now that it's looking much, if you look from the other side, it's more interesting with this second highlight. Looks, it's popping up more. It looks, the texture is much visible. So I will keep doing that. I will complete the highlights with lacquer flash, and I'm back to start working more on the metallics. So this is how it looks like after having done all this handle. Okay, I did also the small one, and now I'm going to work on the metal of the blades. Okay, so I'm going to use again Iron Breaker, and I'm going to highlight a little bit the edge of the blade. Okay, we are going to use this, and we are going to do something like that. Okay. So let me just put the camera a little bit better, like that. Okay. So we are going to do. Okay. I will give a green glow to this thing, so we are going to do green glow later on. I will use the same green glow on the plasma pistol. So this way I'm not highlighting this part. But what we want to know, as you can see, it's very small brush strokes following the edge of the blade. Okay, and then when we have these cuts, we go longer and we keep doing this small strokes. Okay, and I will do the same on the back blade. Okay, so you see, let's take this. Okay. We can finish here. So I will do we're going to do also the shorter blade, or the back blade. Okay. We can think that all this brown thing can be rust, dirtiness, dry blood, so on. So I do the other side, and I'm back to do the bronze. Next, I'm going to work a little bit highlights on the copper part, and I will use Sycorax bronze. Okay, and we are going to use almost the same technique I have been using on the blade. So I'm going to go to the edge, okay, and try to do a little bit of edge highlighting. Okay. Or something like that. Try to touch. The rivets. And then I do the same time. Because this will. Why I'm doing like that? Because looks. One thing that metal have very easily is like scratches, small scratches that have brights indifferent. So doing that will simulate these small scratches that the metal parts normally have. Okay, I'm going to do like that, and then I will follow the blade here. Okay, then I go over that. can do this thing here. We can do the other side. Okay. Normally this brush I like to use a different brush to the rivets, one that have the tip thicker. Okay, and then I do the rivets. The rivets here are really small. Okay. We want to highlight as well spikes. As it is for the other metallic, we'll just do that side and then the other side I will do it off camera. Okay, you can see I go really. The parts that you can see are more exposed and they will be scratched more easily. Okay, and we go here, go on this. Okay. Can do the other side. Okay, I guess at this point you get the idea of the highlights, right? So with circular rounds, we just put some additional highlights on the metallic. So I will keep doing that and I come back once it's done. The next step, I'm going to work on the smoke. Okay, I'm going to clean a little bit the wash on the smoke. I'm going to use Valor Brown. And I'm going to use as well Bubonic Brown, that is a little bit lighter. I don't know if it's still existing, this Bubonic Brown. Well, we can use, let me go to use one of the current colors. Zamesdi Desert. Desert, sorry, Desert. So first, on the holes at the bottom, I will apply very soft some of this in the middle. Okay. Then we are going to clean mainly these parts. Okay. You can keep these dark spots and thin it down now, very thin. And we'll go to this thicker part. Okay. Look here. And I will here it seems the white did not work well. So if that happens, we can take, we'll use Reynolds height. Okay. I will mix it with Valor Brown. And we are going to apply it here, more mix. Okay. Going to use now the messy desert. Then on the most external parts we can use a little bit of fleet one flesh or screaming is cool, it's up to you. little bit of like one flash. As well here. So you see. So I will work to this is how to do the yellowish smoke. As I said, I wanted to go for a different color. I wanted to go for something that looks. Yeah, I don't like really to go for bluish colors on Mortarion. I think they are too clean. With blue, it's more linked to clean or magic. I really think Mortarion have to go more on dirty yellows, dirty browns, greens, the saturated colors. The saturated colors give the sensation of dirtiness. So this is why I try to avoid blues, and I only give the blue to make the oxide of the coppery bronze colors. I have some dark there. Let's say if the white did not leave this dark brown color, I'm using Ruinous Height. Here I will, for example, I will help the transition. Okay, and now I go with more yellow. Here the transition. Okay. So here we have. So I will work a little bit the other side, and I come back when I finish with the smoke. The next step, I will work on the rust, and to do the rust, I will first do the rust especially on the blade. I will do it at the base of the blade. I will do some rust here, very light. So I will apply first Ruinous Height. Okay, I don't apply. I prefer this now over Diffuse Corrosion, because Diffuse Corrosion gives also some texture, and this time I don't want the texture of the Diffuse Corrosion, so I just want to put here. Also, this will help me to have a strong. Okay, I want to create really a strong limit or strong change between the will give more definition to the metallic. So this dark color here will help to separate the colors at the same time. Okay, this is why I'm using that. Okay. Then in some parts I will go wider, the parts where I want when I want to put a little bit of rust. Not too much, just I will work this with moderation on the blade, okay? But I think it's worth to put on some rust. Here is good with the wash. Okay, and here it's also good, except this part that I will add a little bit of rim's height. Okay, here we are. I'll let it dry, and while this is drying I will work the rust on the bronze part, and as we did for the armor I will use Nihilat Oxide. Okay, and I'm going to apply this mainly on this type of holes we have on the blade, not the blade, on this side. Sorry. Okay. And then we can put a little bit, I will thin it down even more, we can put a little bit on the deepest recesses, on the parts we think that can, the rest can go more. Okay, going to be here. Then we can put a little bit in some of this, next to some of these bones. Not all of them, just turn it. Here, for example, I will put this nice one. Okay. Put here around one of these rivets. And we can make that something like that. You can put in different areas. Some you can go heavy with the blue, and some others you just put some insinuation. Very little. So it's a matter to play with. Here it's going to be quite bright, but I like to have some points that are really bright. Let's do the other side. Okay. Then here. I think this part is really dark. It's a good point to put some of this rust. Put here around this type of screw. Okay. Just some random spots. And then we can put as well at the base of some of these spikes. Put here, not all around them. So for example, here we just put on one side. Okay. So as you can see, some areas is darker, some areas so it's more brighter, and some areas are going to be more subtle. The idea is to show the sensation of corruption. Okay, the same here a little bit. So we want to give the sensation that is corrupted, is not clean, is the end is the rust is like the plague for the metals, right? Put something on this skeleton. example here I will follow this type of thing. Okay. Okay. A little bit more here. If it's too heavy, then clean the brush a little bit and remove the excess. So I think now it's looking good. I don't really want to go too heavy. And now I'm going to use razor rust. I don't know why each time I forgot that I don't need to shake this one, it's too thick. Shaking will not do anything. So take some of razor rust and then I go the part where I put more. Or the wider. Okay. And I will apply it as well on the back where we have the holes. And we will put it in some of the cuts. And I will put it here at the base. Okay. Here it is really. Let's see now. We'll cover all the holes, or most of them. Also put it right here. Okay, and then we go there. To give this sensation of rust. Okay, I will put a little bit here. So this will give, I can even put in some other places. I try to go very light with that, not, this is why I just want this type of orange, like as an insinuation, but not too evident in most of the places. Here I want to put a little bit more. Okay, and this is good. And now I'm going to do this part here that I'm thinking to do it green bright. I will do more a glow, so I don't want to go super heavy on that. Okay, so I will start with Warston green. I will fill. I will paint all these with Warston green. I will do one side and then the other side I will do it off camera. As you can see, I'm painting the inside. This can be anything that you can imagine. Can be some energy glowing, can be poison, illness. Really. Okay, some type of magic or demon powers. Let's put something like that. Now I'm going to use mud green and I will paint just the middle of that. Okay, and I will finalize applying a little bit of Dawn yellow. I will give this extra right in the middle. Then I go back with mud green. Okay, something like that. We'll do the other side and the other side of the side, and it will be ready to be glued on the arm, on the main body. Okay, now I have assembled the arm to Mortarion, to the main body, and here you have how it looks like. Okay, so this is how it looks like all together, and from the other side we also can see how the side is looking like. I think the green is popping up quite nicely, and once I have the pistol on the other side, it will compensate also the glow of the plasma pistol. So here we have, and this is the detail on the side. So now I finalize here this part of the painting tutorial of Mortarion, and the next step is to put the next step to assemble is this thing, because the next cable goes on top of that. So this is the order. First you have to put the left hand, head, right hand. Then we're going to put the tubes that go to the top. Okay, so here we have the tube that goes there on the top. Will be painted not in the tutorial, will be painted out of the tutorial, because it's not adding anything. So this is one of the tabs, of the tubes, sorry, that will go there. Okay, so this tube will go in this position to the back of the. Okay, so this will be painted out of tutorial, because it's the same technique we use for all this type of tubes. And then we have to put the head and also. So next part, the head. So I hope you have liked this tutorial about the side, and I think more or less it's going to be 2 tutorials. I want to dedicate just one to the head. I will go in detail on all the head, and then I will do the rest and finish. So I hope you're liking this series. Please let me know in the comments below what do you think, if you like or not. And yeah, and if you have any comment, critique, or any feedback, let me know. That's all for now. As usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.